Hello, look what the cat did last night. He just broke a mirror. Today, if you broke a mirror, well, it's not a big deal. There is a common item, you can find it in every supermarket, store, whatever. I don't know in your country, but here in Mexico, we used to say that when you broke a mirror, you have 7 years of bad luck. Why? Because in the past, mirrors were very special, like we already say in the other clips, and because the manufacture of the mirrors has been evolved in time, that today is a common thing. So if you broke a mirror like my cat did last night, there's not a big deal. But we're gonna continue talking about the Mesoamerican mirrors. I'm Dr. Emiliano Gallaga, and we continue this trip. In the last video clip, we talked about the different type of Mesoamericans mirrors and the materials. We could talk about the hematite, the pyrite, the obsidian. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about them. The first one, the hematite, this type of mirrors, they were called the Olmec Mirrors. They were the more antique, the more ancient one. And they were made of a single, of course, this is not a hematite, this is a figure that I made from my daughter Play-Doh. So, but you can resemble the shape. This was the hematite Olmec mirrors type. They were made on one single piece of hematite and make carving in the center to make a concave surface like this. The idea was to, they have some holes on them so you can wear them. And imagine if you're in the top of the temple as a high priest and surrounded in the plaza with the population look at you to deliver the message from the God. With this type of mirrors, we think that the shaman or the high priest, they direct the sunrise and direct it to something in front of them to create fire with the sunrise. So imagine you are in this plaza and suddenly out of nowhere the high priest ignite a bonfire. That could be a very, very theatrical effect on the belief of these people. So this type of mirror, the Olmec mirrors, they appear in the archaeological record around 1200 before Christ to 400, 200 before Christ, in that type of periods. The next type are the pirate mirrors. This was more like the classic type, and they are very, really nice. This is something like this type. They were circular, they were also square and triangular, but they were made of several pieces of pyrite, tesserae, who they nicely made the shape of this circle. These classical mirrors, the time period is around the time of the Olmec start to disappearing around the 200 before Christ to 600 to 800 after Christ. So you have all this period. Like we mentioned in the last video clip, these mirrors appear on royal tombs, offerings on temples, special areas, especially in front of temples or high palace. So mirrors were especially designed, made for elites, for royalty, for traders, for ambassadors, for militaries, who the possession of one of these mirrors was a distinction or an elite item. The next item or the next level on the Mesoamerican mirrors was the same pirate mirror that we saw before, but this time they put it in a bigger round area and they make a mosaic around it. So you can see this is a very nice mirror from Tula. The pirate is already eroded, but we have the materials around. In this case is turquoise, probably some pyrite or obsidians, and we have a lot of this type of mirrors. Again, these type of mirrors were only made for high classes. This type of mirrors with the mosaic mirrors, we found them in Chichen Itza. We found them associated with Toltec. For example, if you remember the Toltec columns, and you have these big soldiers, and you have in the back there was a big we have a big circle on the back of this military, and that was a distinction for high militaries. They call it Texcacuitlapili. I know it's a tongue twist, but this is the Nahuatl word for these special mirrors for military. The next, these mirrors, they were used for all the post-classic period from 900 to the arrival of the Spaniards. But at the same time, pretty much at the end of the post-classic period, we start having another type, like this one. You see, this is a nice obsidian mirror. This was more common. They can find it in the markets, in the popular markets in Tenochtitlan or in Tlatelolco. So everybody can have one of these. So we start having a distinction with the pirate mirrors only for the high elites, and the obsidian mirrors for popular acquisition. So we can see a change on the social effect of the mirrors, changing from only for elites to making some for more popular acquisition. Just for say an interesting thing, in England, in the British Museum, is one of these obsidian Aztec obsidian mirrors that they claim was used by John Dee, the advisor of the Queen Elizabeth I, who also was a magician, and they say that when Queen Elizabeth wants to know something or take a special decision, this guy, John Dee, look into these mirrors looking for answers. So we're gonna stop here, and we're gonna talk in the next in another video.